Hey Steve, doing your lesson here. This is your first swing on the left, and you can see, I'll show you this real quick. On the feet aren't flared. That's the first piece. You can see here how we have them flared out a little bit wide, a little bit wider, ball more forward, like that. And then you take your backswing. And halfway back, this is real important, you'll see that your hips have moved more to the right than here. Okay, so you can see how your, if I put a line here, your left knee is staying more over your ankle, and this one's moved more in a little bit more. And so what happens is now all your weight goes to the back foot instead of staying forward. Okay, now we're not going to get into club face because that's too closed and bowed right here. You can tell right here that's too closed on both of these. But you would come down and you'll see a significant difference when you come down. You can see that your hands get closer to the red line when it's parallel. Your knees and hips slide forward more, and now your hands get more forward. Even though that's a closed face, which is the reason why you're hitting those quick hooks, it's completely evident in the difference at impact. Okay, so this is very simple stuff to kind of equate, and then your handle would pass faster and your hips were more back. See that? So overall it was a good swing. That's just a big critical thing that I see. Okay, now when we bring up from the other side, pull this up for you. Let's see if this is the right one. This is good. Okay. So here is plane line called the hands only plane. Okay. And you'll see that as you go back, you take your arms more up and out with a closed face. So that face is pretty closed right here. As your hips are moving to the right. And here, your hips would turn and go a little bit forward. You can see your club's more on plane, and the face isn't as closed. Okay? Then as you would go back, you can see how your club now stays on plane. Okay? And as we go to halfway back, when the left arm is parallel to the ground, you can see your shaft plane's a little different. See that? It's just a lot more shallow. And as you get to the top with your old swing, your arms would be a lot higher and the face would be more closed. So this is more hip turn, hips more forward, left wrist flatter, not as close as you are here. Then as you come down, you'd have to try to drop it back on plane, but it was still too high. So this is the reason why you didn't hit it as high. And now you're more from the inside. The face is more open. Here it's closed. And you'll see it impact now. When you hit impact, now your hips are more open and more forward. And your handle's more forward. And as you come through, this face is square and not as flipped. So you see how it's kind of flipping right there? And that ball was hooking left pretty hard. And that ball's going straight up in the air. Okay? So a good example of this, actually, it was that afternoon. So you'll see here Charlie Wee. And you'll see on the backswing how his hands go more in, hips turn a little bit more. See that? And get to the top, hips turned, arms in. Okay. And he's loaded his arms more. We'll talk about that another time. That's a huge, huge piece for power. This is probably going to give you about 15 yards on your irons if you learn to load properly. But we'll talk about that later. And then as you come down, you'll see that you're matching up a little bit more from the inside, which is good. He's going to have more lag. Okay. So pretty good. We'll work on footwork too later, so we don't need to worry about that. But a lot of good stuff going on. I just wanted to show you one more piece. With the leg, you'll see what the hips do. See how the hips turn? Okay, so he's not moving his hips to the right, they're actually going forward. And then he moves forward. See that? And that face is more open. Okay. Now on this one, I would say his stance is too wide. So we did this with a driver. His stance is a little bit more narrowed. So you'll see his hips turn a little bit better. Handle forward. Hips tucking. Okay. So anyway, that's what I want you working on, man. Watch this a couple times and just make sure that you can write these down as notes, but these are things I need you to do. You need to get that face open. That left wrist is key. And you got to turn on the backswing, okay? Hope all's well, and I'll talk to you later.